The 48 Laws of Power, book by Robert Greene. Law 41. The Perils of Inheriting Greatness, Navigating Power Dynamics, Rebellion, and Legacy. In the 48 Laws of Power, Law 41 warns against stepping into a great man's shoes, emphasizing the challenges of inheriting fame or power. The law highlights the importance of establishing one's identity and avoiding the shadow of a powerful predecessor. Baltasar Gracian's A Pocket Mirror for Heroes reinforces the idea that being first is a significant advantage, urging individuals to carve their own path and shine in their unique way. The Rise and Fall of Louis XV, a lesson in inheritance. The narrative unfolds with the death of Louis XIV, leaving his successor, Louis XV, with the daunting task of surpassing the Sun King's achievements. However, Louis XV succumbs to a life of pleasure, neglecting governance and allowing the court to indulge in excess. The king's affairs with mistresses like Madame de Pompadour and Madame du Barry further contribute to the decline of France. The motto Après moi, le déluge encapsulates Louis XV's reign, culminating in a country in disarray and the onset of the French Revolution. Interpretation. Louis XV's failure to escape his predecessor's shadow underscores the challenges of inheriting greatness. His indulgent lifestyle and lack of interest in governance lead to a legacy of decadence, mirroring the warning in Law 41. Pericles and the Art of Reinvention. Examining the life of Pericles, the text illustrates how he defied expectations and transcended his aristocratic background. Initially cautious, Pericles later aligns with the People's Party, showcasing a willingness to reinvent himself for political survival. This strategic shift enables him to rise to power, emphasizing the importance of adapting to changing circumstances. Interpretation. Pericles' ability to break away from his aristocratic origins aligns with the concept of avoiding the pitfalls of inherited power. His strategic reinvention serves as a valuable lesson in adapting to the evolving dynamics of leadership. Pietro Perugino, Poverty as a Catalyst for Excellence. The life of painter Pietro Perugino exemplifies the positive impact of poverty on talent development. Faced with adversity, Perugino dedicated himself to his craft, using the fear of poverty as a driving force. His relentless pursuit of excellence, even in the face of discomfort, showcases the transformative power of need and adversity. Interpretation. Perugino's story echoes the idea that adversity, rather than privilege, can be a powerful motivator for achieving greatness. The pursuit of excellence becomes a means of overcoming challenging circumstances. Alexander the Great, defying the father's shadow. The narrative shifts to Alexander the Great, a rare example of a son surpassing his famous father, King Philip. Alexander's disdain for his father's ruling style propels him to defy expectations, symbolized by taming the untamable horse, Bucephalus. Alexander's conquests, including the defeat of the Persians, highlight his relentless pursuit of surpassing his father's glory. Interpretation. Alexander's defiance of his father's shadow underscores the importance of disparaging the past and creating one's legacy. His audacious approach serves as a model for those seeking to transcend the limitations of inherited greatness. The Tragedy of Paul Morphy, Success, Rebellion, and Collapse. The exploration concludes with the tragic tale of chess champion Paul Morphy. His success in chess, viewed as a sublimation of the Oedipal complex, is followed by a swift collapse. Morphy's story raises questions about the psychological impact of overwhelming success and the potential for mental collapse in the face of insurmountable pressure. Interpretation. Morphy's downfall reflects the psychological strain associated with surpassing one's father and the challenges of managing overwhelming success. His story cautions against underestimating the psychological toll of achieving greatness. In the ancient kingdoms of Bengal and Sumatra, a peculiar ritual unfolded. A ruler, after several years in power, would be executed. This practice, a blend of renewal and prevention of excessive power, highlights the eternal struggle between the old and the new. It's a recurring theme, seen in legends of heroes with absent fathers like Moses and Hercules, symbolizing the need to break free from the constraints of the past. Chapter 1. Breaking the chains of tradition. The past, embodied by the father or predecessor, can stifle the potential for new leadership. To avoid this, one must break free from the shadows and establish a new order. Mao Zedong cleverly tapped into the resentment against Confucius, and John F. Kennedy distanced himself from Eisenhower's era, demonstrating the power of stirring the young against the old. Chapter 2. Symbolism and differentiation. Creating distance from the predecessor requires symbolism. Louis XIV rejected traditional palaces, and Augustus differentiated himself from Caesar through Roman simplicity. The lesson is clear. Laugh at the relics of the past, establish your unique symbols, and never follow in your predecessor's footsteps. Chapter 3. Entering the vacuums. To establish a new order, identify cultural vacuums and be the first to fill them. Pericles chose democracy when most politicians aligned with the aristocracy, and Velázquez embraced a coarse painting style to stand out. Boldly breaking with tradition can be intimidating, but it earns admiration and power. Chapter 4. Burn the books. Rejecting cookie-cutter approaches. A common trap is blindly following a predecessor's methods. General MacArthur burned books of precedents, emphasizing the need to react to circumstances as they happen. This ruthless strategy toward the past ensures adaptability and prevents the shackles of tradition from hindering progress. Chapter 5. Guarding against self-becoming. You are your own father. Rebelling against the father figure is crucial, but as one ages, the danger lies in becoming the father one rebelled against. Mao Zedong unconsciously adopted his father's views, showcasing the perpetual need to guard against the return of outdated ideas, habits, or history. Chapter 6. The perils of prosperity. Constantly recreating yourself. Success can breed complacency and inaction. Tennessee Williams faced depression after achieving success, while Picasso constantly changed his painting style to combat stagnation. The lesson: be prepared to return to square one psychologically, avoiding the pitfalls of growing lazy with prosperity. Chapter 7. Reversal. Using the shadow wisely. Napoleon III leveraged the legacy of Napoleon Bonaparte to ascend to power but quickly differentiated himself. Once in control, sometimes embracing elements of the past can be advantageous, but a leader must avoid seeming childish or out of control. Chapter 8. Learning from the young. Navigating rival. As you rise to power by rebelling against the past, be wary of the younger generation doing the same to you. Pietro Bernini, a Baroque artist, mastered the art of keeping potential rivals in his shadow, preventing them from eclipsing his fame. Conclusion. The eternal dance of shadows and legacies. In the journey for power, one must navigate the shadows of the past, break free from traditions, and constantly reinvent oneself. The dance between rebellion and legacy is eternal, and those who master it hold the keys to true and enduring power.